Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Age Mythology Replay. Spawn on the right side as the blue Odin, we got Bari. Spawn on the north side as magenta Kronos, we got Devicey with a capital E. When it comes to the relics on the map, we do have Turf Ring, Anger and Sword, gives Hero Life Seal, which actually could be pretty good for the both civilizations, but particularly for the Atlanteans, I would say. Arrows to all far, increasing building damage, better defenses. 9 cauldrons, I only see one right there. Give increased hack and pierce armor of fortress buildings, pretty useful. I think more useful for the Atlanteans, of course more on the north side of the map. And Eye of Olu, Horned Lu, giving increase range damage. Oh, counter infantry units by 5%, so that'd be Throwing Axemen and the Cherry Ballista, right? Yep, Cherry Ballista.
Bureg.
When it comes to aging on up, of course, Kronos can go for Leto or Promethean. I am a big fan of Leto. I think people should go for it more often. Automatons can be very nice, but her series are very common, again, so it's not that great. And additionally, the fact that the Pierce Armor effect is actually not that useful for its Norse either. Reception's only be really useful in Spider Lair. Spider Lair is actually really good, in my opinion. Oracles give increased favor at the full capacity bonus, which is very nice. For Prometheans, faster heroic deployment, not super important, I would say. And heroic citizens have increased capabilities, and of course Valor. Valor is also neither good power. I'm more biased for Spider Lair over Valor, but I understand the appeal to the other. And also got Promethean, and we've also got Freyja, which does give access to cavalry speed and hit points. Spider Lair is a pretty good defense. You just put the Spider Lairs next to, say, your gold mine, or maybe certain locations where you know cavalry travel. And it's like, for a dirt cheap amount of favor, you can probably get up to 3 human soldier kills. It's actually really nice in my opinion. It's cheap and spammable. And let's just say, compared to Myth Unit, will you get a single Myth Unit to kill 3 human soldiers generally in Age 2? Probably not. So the favor is probably a bit more better spent on the spider traps. Not to mention, the spider trap itself only costs favor compared to all the other resources. And automatons are still pretty good in defense, regardless of what your opponent throws at them, unless it's just mass Herseer. Valkyrie there, got a couple Prometheans here. More medals and Termas been put on the field. Termas, I disagree with. He does go to cancel Terma. After all, versus the Norse, you can counter the Throwing Axemen of either Terma or Cherry Ballista. And Cherry Ballista would be a bit better generalist, but Termas do offer higher speed. Cherry Ballista does offer more generalist capability.
Skopos.
I guess the Norse at least.
Bureg. Hedgehogs.
Another Valor power deployed out somewhere. Maybe on this Oracle. Does give him, of course, some increased favor.
Hedgehogs.
Volsarks, Herseers, and the Valkyrie.
Skopos?
Pegasus flying about. You now have Theft of Fire, give your hero citizens 20% more effectiveness. But the problem is, it's so much expensive going for all those citizens. Luckily, the Valor God power is very good for that. But it looks like Kronos is also eyeing to valorize the oracles.
Bureg.
So these two need to be separated. For a very fine hunt has been summoned. Ooh, look at that. That may have been 2 gazelle deposits there. I'm not sure. Let me find a counterpart here. So we have there's a 10 gazelle deposit, and each gazelle is worth 200 food. So that was a pretty good hunt, I would say. So 14. He's definitely using this area. Didn't double duplicate all of them. It appears to be. But there's a delicious amount of food there.
Skopos.
Magenta or purple is advanced way forward. Purple Promethean, but they do not have their flaming hot shoes, so they don't split into 3. As Promethean does manage to escape on out of there with 1 health remaining. We do now have the clay, give a 3rd offspring. Ox cart does not get completed there. But ox cart still makes ox sounds if it's incomplete. Probably shouldn't. Prometheans got their sweet kicks there, or sick kicks, whatever they say nowadays. I don't think sick kicks is something they ever say nowadays. Oh, this is the age of mythology. I can say older lingo terminology.
Burek.
Oh, got double heroic cherry bullets. So that maybe it did. Oh, does use the forest fire there. It does go ahead and keep him towards the fire as well. Hold his feet to the flames. Prometheus started going down. Got a good number of Perseus here. Cherry bullets did get wounded by that fire. Cherry bullets are also the counter to the Perseus. Both these guys are very wounded. Good micro there by Magenta. Purple. He is getting some health regen there. Oh yeah, he got the relic to give health regen, didn't he? He got 4 relics. He got all 4 relics on the map. Ooh. Magenta really wanted those relics. So now he has Bride of the Pegasus. Wait, I guess there's more than 4 relics on this map, isn't there? Did I miss the Bride of the Pegasus? Oh, he got lifesteal, he got Chirpulus of damage, and fortress units. Where's the temple over here? Oh. Maybe deconstruct. No, he says deconstruction god power. Delicious elephant has been claimed. Where is Odin's temple? Maybe it did get deconstructed. So first deconstruction, does it cost the second one? The second deconstruction cost favor? Oh no, there it is. So there are 6 relics in this map, so I miss a couple. Archimedes' Ledger is actually a pretty good relic for the lane to obtain because it says reduces siege weapons population by 1. Cherry ballista are classified siege weapons.
Burek.
Rain soldier, siege weapon. Here.
Yuji. Burek.
So that could reduce their population by 1, going from 4 to 3, which is quite significant. That relic is excellent for the cherry ballista. The other one is building have increased attack. In other words, buildings are better at defenses. Valkyrie covered in soot, healing up some of these units. We got a very good number of Prometheans here. Not many Perseers here to counter the Prometheans. Prometheans not exactly strong, they're just bulky, durable. Our cherry ballista, of course, are counter unit to the Valkyrie. And we do now have, what's it called, Scotty being queued on up. Scotty is Sons of Frost Giants and Frost. Winter Harvest is a food collection upgrade for the farms, and I think it does affect some natural food resources as well as less effectiveness. Hunter's Axe, I think that allows his throwing axe to have near perfect accuracy and may also increase damage, or was it increased range? I can't remember. Looks like Magician's Eye for some oracles. Kronos has a couple good age up options. You got Rhea or Hyperion. I am more biased towards Rhea. Because I do put a lot of value into orichalcum mail. The titanium gold alloy, it is. And of course, making your mythological improvements costs 0 favor and give you refunds always quite nice. Early Fanatic's probably quite nice, especially when he has the relic to make it even slightly better. Over here for Hyperion, of course, you get Sons of Suns, make your oracles all heroic and always heroic. And let's see. Siege Bream, not important. Heroes have increased health and regen. Yeah. Chaos is a very good god power, but so is Traitor. I'm more biased towards Rhea, and looks like Kronos is a jump to Rhea. Orichalcum mail is very nice.
Burek.
Very good number of Promethean, a very good number of Promethean. We do have medium radiant cavalry to counter. But at this point in time, Odin needs some more heroes. Nope, Birdie goes down. You now have the Hamas give Berserks increased 10% speed and give them a bit of bonus damage versus myth units. We'll see, does Valor that Oracle. These two oracles are too close to each other. They're a bit of a recluse, so keep them separated. What's other names for a recluse? I think the Japanese call it hikikomori. Nerd probably just works. Good number of units here. Chariot Ballista will counter all those units. They're all classified as infantry, regardless what form they take. Radiant Cavalry are over there. Some Radiant Cavalry over here. And yeah, usually I say people overline her Seers, but I think Blue needs to get out some more her Seers. Kronos does excellent Traitor God power, which he could steal that Frost Giant. Frost Giant's probably a good target for it. Of course, the Elitian God powers are pretty cheap to recast. My apologies, hit my microphone. And the Frost Giant, Frost Giant's just okay. I'm not a big, I think just Frost Giants are, they're just okay. They offer a good mid-range in attack and defensive capabilities. Their attacks are slow, they offer good melee damage and good crush damage. They're good versus buildings as well as foot soldiers. They have a decent amount of bulk, excellent amount of armor. In comparison to a living siege warrior, the behemoths. They have horrible crush hack armor, so they get ripped apart there. Yeah, 30% crush hack armor is not too much. The armor stacking increases effects exponentially. I always want to put it this way: if you go from 0 to 10%, you take 10% less damage. If you go from 80% to 90%, still a 10% increase, you take 50% less damage because it goes from dealing 20% damage to doing only 10% damage, effectively doubling its effectiveness. Got a big fight here, but it feels like Magenta is going to lose out. It does see the Frost Giant there. He's the Jarl. Also some Marmellos, as was a couple Pelvis, counter cavalry units there, very nice. Chariot Ballista in the back line, firing away. Huskarls hitting some of the Chariot Ballista. They counter each other. Huskarls, of course, have good range armor to resist the damage, though. And I'm so surprised Magenta actually won that fight. I thought Magenta was going to lose that fight. Blue had a pretty good surround there, but I think... yeah. And deconstructs the hill fort while at it, very nice. Does give a full refund of resources. Yeah, the second cast does cost 10 favor, I thought it cost favor. And there's a frost there. And Magento's entire army will be frozen there. Magenta needs to use the forces here to get ready to march to protect his forces. They do have... they got slain there. They have not only 99% hack armor, but 100%. Dear God. Anyway, Argus Archers pushing forward. This opponent has a good amount of infantry, that's a good item. Thralls put on the field. They don't counter archers, but at least they're not infantry. They'd be countered by Argus archers. Or Arcus archers, not Argus archers. Argus is a myth unit. Arcus is the range unit.
Burek.
Frost will subside in 10 seconds. I think Magenta should just group up forces back here. And looks like Magenta will save out the winter. We got the early Fanatics research. We've got some heavy Fanatics in age 3 now. Very nice. They're excellent for infantry and cavalry. And this one has infantry and cavalry. And now, actually, some of the ranged only unit there. Fanatics against the Norse are particularly useful. Another reason why to go for Ray against the Norse. And Cherry Ballista. I mentioned he does have a relic to make them, what, 5% more resilient to both sources of damage? Yep, a hack and pierce. Good number of cavalry here, but of course the Fanatics will be very useful. Magenta right now has 4 Fanatics in formation, so not too much. And not for many more of them. He's going for more than counter cavalry units there, and maintaining decent numbers of Cherry Ballista. Boosts his agent up to Atlas for the Argus, which also gives access to more pierce armor for his destroyers, which is not too important. Now, if you do have Tire to give access to Fenris Wolf Brood and Preserve Game, and of course the Thimble Winter. Magenta's not gone for too many farms just yet. Establishing other infrastructure over here, including more palaces. Let's see, Magenta has only 30 close on food. Let's got some scatter farms, and actually, goats are now being cleaned on up. So Magenta still has goats in the field. They're fully fattened, very nice. So Magenta's been doing very well in food. Blue has ox cart trying to pay off us student loans. Magenta does have a decent amount of farms here. Right now he has 27 villagers, that's twice the amount of collectors, which is roughly even, of course. But it looks like a lot more farms for Blue. So Magenta's doing quite good in the not needing farmy category. Of course, Blue has access to the Winter Harvest upgrade, which you may have already got it researched.
Skipan?
Yep, there's a Winter Harvest upgrade. It gave him plus 1% collection from farms and other natural sources, plus 10%. Still better go for the natural sources, but at least your farms are particularly useful. Now they're providing at 0.94 compared to the citizens, who are currently providing at 1.26. After all, they are times 2, but also not necessarily times 2. They don't have to worry about drop-off, so it's always hard to calculate the effects of the lack of needing a drop-off. Palace being time shifted forward, very nice. Oh, and looks like he's building palace on the back line and time shifting them forward. Very excellent, making good use of that ability. Got champion upgrades being researched by Kronos. Got Implosion there. Definitely the biggest visual upgrade for Retold. Destroys all those wall segments. Wasn't too particularly great for Implosion, honestly, but still looks great. Has 150 favor sorted up, so you can bring in some traders, or seize some traders. Does have some Argus in the field. I'm not a big fan of Argus myself, but they are still pretty nice. When it comes to Atlantean myth units, my bias is towards Lampades, which Kronos can't get them. Kronos and Gaia can get them. I also do love the Tartan Gate. Though I do always say people don't really use Hardened Gate all that well. I believe you should use it on the trade line, because that's a really nasty way to stop trade entirely for a very long time. Kronos shifting a palace there. Don't know how effective that is. Don't know what upgrades it has. Not too much. Ballistics and copper or bronze weapons. Fire Scepter does go down there. Arcus Archer is firing away. A lot of heroic fight units there. Does take the Octa Caravan. Arcus Archers being overran. There's cities on the Temple Cavalry here. Big wave of Fanatics is very nice. Traded something. Traded one of the Jarl. It's just an Ulf Jarl, which I think is medium Jarl, right? These are great Jarls. Yeah. So only got the medium Jarl. The heavy Jarls are still here.
Σκόπος.
Agenda's now falling back, and both players now advance to Myth Gauge. Got Fimbulwinter available. When Fimbulwinter gets summoned, just hit the town bell. It's one of the few times you actually should just hit the town bell, because most times you should try to micro and save your civilians. But Fimbulwinter spawns units near your civilians, so hit town bell. As these wolves are lethal and free and everywhere. But I mean, you should pet all the dogs. That's when one would tame them. And look at that, the wolves are now sieging down the town center quite severely. Fimbulwinter has subsided. Now the spring mud is on the field. Two palaces time shifted away for Parasec's getting some good hits there. Good for Arcus Archers in the field. Throwing at some good cover, throwing the Fanatics at range. This is Valor on the front line. I think we want to lay out the Valor right now. Townsend has gone down. Another Frost has subsided. We'll take out these palaces as they're being time shifted. Giving some breathing room. Also going for the town center. More Argus being flown field. Brody on the reinforced cube. Going for the Levy subscription. Well, we've got more medals over here. Fenner's whole crew does go down there, so does the Argus. Fanatic does get heroic fight there, getting some of these Bodhies. While the Fanatic doesn't counter them, it's still very good resistance. Fanatic right now also has 70% melee resistance, which actually is very significant. Argus Archers will definitely do fine versus throwing Axemen. Right now they're 14 range versus 20, not to mention not being countered while being countered. Looks like Magenta is now going to be eyeing for some llama caravans. Those llamas cause nothing but drama. See, Kronos does have a massive stockpile gold, so he does not necessarily need llama caravans. This is immediate. Has decent food reserve. He probably needs a little bit more wood. Good eye for maybe some more oracles for more favor generation. Going for a big wave of fanatics though. And now got the llama caravans going. We now have Coinage, Flood Control, Quarry, Iron Upgrades, Champion, full mess of research for Odin. He is lacking a bit of gold and needs some more food. Has plenty of wood for now, but I can easily consume. So this gold deposit is oversaturated. Let's see, let's switch over to Odin's vision so we can see what gold deposits on the map. This one is unspoiled. This one has plenty of gold in it. And it is appeared to be the last of the gold. There's not too much gold left on the map. Kronos does have a good stockpile though. Kronos probably feels like he's in a pretty good position. Not to mention he has a good amount of military forces in the field. 126 has all sorts of civilian population. And now, nope, does not obtain the secondary, the additional town center without a palace there? Yep. I'm shifting forward to palace. A lot of palaces in this region. Looks like purple is trying to eye for a Arabian lifestyle of all these palaces. Throw up citizens there. And Magenta does need an army there. Magenta's pushing for army over here, hitting the citizens. Or those villagers. Citizens do build a palace, and immediately gets destroyed. This sounds like it's going to be fully garrisoned pretty soon. Jarls, legendary Jarls, champion Jarls push forward, getting some damage. Good amount of Mermellos and Arcus archers being flung field. No more Argus being flung just yet, but we do have Burning Pitch, and Blue has now resigned. This is Angry saying, keep watching, and on to next replay.